Hi guys, welcome. Greetings from wherever you're watching, from the west, from the east, from the north, from the south. Welcome to this segment of courses. Thank you for following so long. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for listening. So, our last segment, we spoke about peer pressure. Now, would sum up the rest. Yes, we would sum up the rest of what we're going to be discussing about. The rest of the courses, according to what I have here. And then from that, we would go into solution, right? So we will not always sit back to be victims. Now we pick solutions. We have seen the times, we have seen the season, we know what it brings, we know what is at stake. So now we focus on solutions. Okay, solutions. But let's finish the courses we have on ground. I apologize if this segment is going to be longer than expected. Nothing good comes easy. All right, let's get into it. Now, peer pressure was the last we spoke about. Furthermore, we'll be speaking about immorality and materialism. Personally, I believe that every other vices, if you go down to being rude, being disrespectful, bad-mannered, tempered, all those other vices, some of them are bad attitudes. And we are not here to justify your bad attitude. We're not here to justify your misconduct, your malpractices. We're not here to do that. But what I'm trying to say is these things are byproducts. Okay, they are things that you need to be something negative. For example, you go to the bus stop, you go to the park, you see the touts, the ones we call Agberu. Yes. So you see them take things upon things, drink things upon things, mixtures. That's just to help them maintain a posture of an effective tout. Yes, some of us are just quick to judge, or just quick to say, hey, this person. No. They take those things to maintain a posture of an effective tout. Yes, look at it. Can you stand in a bus stop under the sun? Maintain that energy to attract people to your own bus over other people's bus consistently without feeling drained, tired, or weak. Mind you, they don't have enough money to eat. They don't have enough money to take care of themselves. So possibly they are feeling some kind of illness or so. They take those things they take to, to go beyond the pain, to cross the border of worries, to cross the border of human feelings. So they take those things they take and they just go higher than. Yes. So so when they come out in this method, they have to give themselves some kind of strength beyond the average human. Yes, and that's why we call them doubt. Since we hear their voices, now that voice has come into an ecosystem where it can crack. All right, back to our discussion: immorality and materialism. These are the last two. So every other thing I feel are padded in this. If you see people who are being prostitutes, that's maybe the foundational factor there is materialism. Some of them are immoral because they've gotten addicted to sexual things, they've gotten addicted to some things, and the only way they satisfy themselves is by becoming staffs in the kingdom of immorality. Hence prostitution, hence lesbianism, hence LGBTQ, everything immoral, just want to express and find their way out. Okay, so let's focus on immorality. What actually is the cause? What is the core? What have prompted, or what is that foundational factor we are ignoring that makes every teenager come in, and if they are not well checked, they move that way. Now, like I said, and I want to make emphasis again, I said my first video, I want to make emphasis again, is that there is a starting foundation to things, and teenagers are that grade of humans, that stage of the human development that absorb things more than every other stage. They are the stage where they are being shaped to be the adults they will become. They are the stage where they are being molded. They are being fixated. Their joints are fusing into one to becoming someone, to becoming an entity, to becoming a character that stays consistent throughout the rest of their life, unless enacted by a more supreme force at the course of their life. All right. So now, where are those foundations I've been able to draw out that consistently holds immorality as a job opportunity in the realm of teenagers? As one of the most sorted jobs. Let's put it that way. So the first one is exposure. Yes, exposure. Wrong exposure. Let's put it that way. Wrong exposure. So when we speak about wrong exposure, when we talk about wrong exposure, many teenagers, I want you to always note that the human being has been commanded by heaven, by God. The Bible says, be fruitful and multiply, right? Go. So we have been commanded by God to reproduce, not even just humanity, every living creature. And so there is a Kickstarter in us. There is a fixed obedient factor in us to want to reproduce. I know there is a set of people coming out in this current age that are more like, nah, I don't want to marry, I don't want to produce. I don't know. But these people try to, if you notice, they try to still carry their ideology and fix it on people, put it on people, like on other ones coming to them. They are still reproducing, yes. They are still trying to make disciples. Make disciples. So that thing is a factor. Living things must always bring forth discipleship. You must always want to bring further, create, pour more. Yes. Exposure in a sense, a wrong exposure. We have teenagers these days that are exposed wrongly. I said initially in the first one, the kind of movies they watch, the kind of elderly ones they have around them, the kind of schools they attend. If you check it, basically we elders are the ones that expose these people untimely. Now, you have somebody being exposed to some movies. Who acted those movies? Adults. You have some people being exposed to some games. Who made those games? Adults. To some website. Who created those things? Adults. So they are coming into a plane where there is this coming from here, coming from here, coming from here, coming from here. And you hear parents say, during our time, they don't born us where to do like this. You don't have the exposure. You don't have the exposure that they have now. You don't have the easy access that they have now. If you had it, I tell you, you won't be different from them. All right. So these things come in. You have parents who are not around always, and the kind of movies that are being shown ends with a kiss or a sex scene, and then they are growing into these things. They are coming fresh into it. Their body is coming into this ecosystem. The chemicals are being created within. The hormones are sprouting. You don't expect that they see these things and they don't react. They become dummies. No. The songs that are being played around them, the exposure, the mind. Music is something that can, with sounds, you can heal. With sounds, you can, you can change a perception. Music is something that can drive you. Yes, the kind of songs listening to is pumping immorality. Pumping immorality. There's this quote I found that says, if you want to destroy a generation without war, expose them to nudity, immorality, and they are gone. Yes, because they will always dance to that tune. The human being would always want to. And sexual orgasm is the highest form of pleasure the human can feel. Smoking, cocaine, alcohol, whatever it is, whatever you are finding pleasure from. In sex, it gives almost times 3 that pleasure. Yes, and so we are beings, and we would always dance towards what is better, what we feel is more attractive. We will dance towards it. So we will not fight them from the side of the outcome. We should fight from the side of the input. All right? The input. All right. So we have exposure, the kind of games we see, the kind of movies that are being made. And many of these things are because we don't have present parents. A consistent factor to everything I've been saying is neglect. Parents need to understand that even in times like this, some of you are there, but you're not there. You can't engage in a conversation with your, even though you are working from home, you have binged on Netflix. You're just on your phone, or you're not there. You're not there. See, there is the grade as to being there with a teenager. Stop expecting that this person is not coming home from work, and he's not having bad children. I'm at home always, and you are bad. When this person comes back, it's possible he reads his kids' night stories. It's possible he speaks to them about some things. It's possible there is this aura of joy he brings in. That when he comes in, he buys something and they gather around and say, oh, how much school? And the kids anticipate, and there's a fullness of attention, fullness of expectation, fullness of, they are being filled to the brim as to, oh, daddy, mommy's around, and they are living in anticipation. They see obedience and being cultured as a currency to be paid to the presence of their parents. And when the presence of their parents come, it matches the amount of currency they have invested in waiting, in keeping to the laws the parents have kept. That when they come, oh, I have kept, I have been good, I have been fine all day. I did not approach, I did not fight, I did not listen to what that boy was telling me, or the bad attitude that was being portrayed around me. I didn't do all those things. So I can come and tell you, when they come, there is a reciprocated kind of response. There is a matching kind of response from their parents that, oh, wow, that's beautiful. When that energy comes from you and comes from them, even when you give them 10 minutes, but that 10 minutes of your day, there is a full attention and energy. You will have the best of teenagers. Not that you are stay home and you lock yourself in your room, come out, cook, give them, go back inside. They are just there and they are seeing you. I said something, there's a difference between loneliness and alone. Alone is bad. Alone is bad, but loneliness is worse. Hey, you have people, but you don't have people. Come on. They can do better. Okay. Exposure is basically everything. Every child who comes to a play does not know some things. If you notice young babies and they have maybe perhaps a toddler around 3 to 4, and then there is the babies around 1, 2, they see their elder ones. If they move to this place, notice they try to follow them. They copy. They are just copycats. They don't know anything about life. Though they look like they are fine, they are chilling, they are okay, they don't know. Don't stuff their faces with cartoons. They think like cartoons, but this is reality. They'll begin to think like cartoons. They begin to think like cartoons, but this is reality. All right? You will have to come in. You will have to speak to them. You will have to, oh, how are you? And I'm not saying, some of us are worried that if I begin to talk to them about these things, the kind of child I have will begin to find out these things. My mommy said this. Is it true? Hey, it's best. It's best they are aware of the danger than you lie or you just decide to neglect it and they begin to find out themselves. Come on. You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. Growing up, I had this thing that if you touch a lady like this, now they told us she'll get pregnant. You touch her, maybe she'll get pregnant. It worked for some of us, but at some age, beyond growing up, they told us in biology what actually pregnancy could, where it could come from. And we found out, they were just yeah. And then we have those that have mastered the craft. So you get into that zone, you begin to do those things, and you don't make sure you release, pull out, right? If we have parents who had said things better, who had clarified things, who had bring the idea of things, and let me say this before I move further to materialism: don't always bring the solution, the results. Thank you. Don't always bring the results to things. Tell them the reason why these things are not good at their stage and not for them to try at their level. Tell them the reasons why these things are not supposed to be tested yet. That factor is there. Yet, don't say, hey, it is not for you, cancel, out. No. Tell them the time will come and this is the way you are supposed to do it. Do you know, even spiritually, it is very, very wrong that couples cohabit or maybe begin to engage in immoral, because they think, we are couples, so they begin to have sex, do those things. And in wedding, do you know it is responsible for 70% reasons why couples don't give birth? They are married, almost 6 years, no child. The spiritual aspect of things are more dangerous than the physical aspect of things. We will get there. We'll get to that point. We'll talk about these things. So yes, let's go into the next part, which is materialism. Now, materialism in an ecosystem like this, in a country like this, is not, how do I say, it's bound to be watered down to, I'm trying to fend for myself, right? How do you know a materialistic ecosystem? How do you know a materialistic group of people, materialistic nation? How do you know people like that? A certain breed of people who are materialistic because they don't care whatever means it takes to get it. Now, materialism is wanting things at the expense of your values. That's how I would define it. There is getting things. There is the need to acquire, to have, to build and have good things for yourself. Cool. But when these things begin to come in at the expense of your values, you begin to go on and on and on. It becomes materialistic. And my Bible says you can't serve God and mammon. Now, mammon in that case is seen as the demon of materialism. The demon of materialism. Now, God is the father of light, right? So you can't have light attributes. You can't have light attributes. You can't be good. You can't be fine when you are more fueled on materialism. So many things, like I said initially, many of the byproducts, being rude, disrespectful, bad mannered, all those things are methods you have to stand on to remain. Being greedy, being dishonest, lying are those things, those posture you have to take to be materialistic, to be immoral, to be disrespectful, to just maintain those things. You begin to have these attributes. You see young ladies, you see young boys looking down on men who have spent almost 20 years ahead of them trying to build things, but because they are carrying some materialistic things that these men have not achieved, they ignore, insult, and look down on them. Now, over time, they've come into a plane. There's something about capacity. Grass don't bear fruit. Grass don't bear fruit. When I mean grass, I mean seedlings, young ones. They don't bear fruit. If they bear fruit, they can bend. So when you begin to attain things that are beyond your capacity at a point, it can destroy you. That's why sometimes you have to be very sensitive as to how you help people, because you can expose them to a plane that destroys them rather than help them. You can't just bring. It's like bringing. It's like bringing 3 million and giving a child of 10 years. What does that child want to do with it? If there are no parents or any factor, I can assure you that whatever that child does with that money, in the next 1 to 2 years, he will regret using that money for that. In the next 5 years, even up to 15-year-old, give them 3 million, whatever they do with that money, in the next, without any further or any external influence, in the next 1 to 4 years, they will regret that if that money did not. Materialism. Okay, so what actually fuels materialism? What actually fuels materialism? We have social media, first off. Yes, I would say social media. Social media gives a kind of exposure that is beautiful, but to a poverty-stricken mind. Yes. I mean, maybe we should say poverty first. Poverty fuels materialism. When we have people who do not have. Yes. So during the lockdown, I had a few friends who their only source of eating, because everywhere was locked up. You locked people in, there was no provision, there was nothing to keep them standing. And their only source of eating was to work in construction sites. And you would ask me, how are people building in lockdown when all businesses are closed? But they were working in this construction site, and what were they doing? They were filling rooms with sand, and at the end, their money is 1,500. Room size, you know what that is, those of you that know about this. 1,500. And, you know, I also knew people, because I was around 300 level then. I also knew people that once we resumed, that is, when we came into 2021, when they resumed, they brought the cars and everything. So it's very possible you have people like that during that plane. In their houses, no food, they come back with 1,500. It's worth it to them that, oh, the house will smile, mommy will be happy, there will be food. You see your siblings, if there's a kind of satisfaction that comes in. And now they have friends. You have Tunde today. Tunde is opening laptop and trying to do some things, some fraudulent things. Not like opening laptop is bad, but some fraudulent things. You're like, you will get caught, bro. You will get caught. Tunde did not get caught. He gets 1 million. The other person does the same thing, gets 2 million. And you would know, unless you don't know lack. The Bible points out a story of 2 women out of lack agreed that I will cook my child to be able to eat. Is there anything worse that, have you ever thought of it? We will cook my child. Cook, not kill. Cook and eat. They cook and eat a child. Their children. They say, tomorrow we cook your own. Have you ever thought of it? So lack can be that thing. Lack can be that thing. It just makes a person a whole different breed. There was a day I was going to school and I was so down. I was tired of it. I was like, God, I'm tired of these things. I was going, because I was done with school. I was done with school. And SS3 per se. So I was going to teach somewhere, a primary school then. And I was coming, your distance was fine. I was looking, I was like, God, where's my why can't I have admission? What is delaying, right? I I was good and Baba just answered um my grumbling with a child. A child passed, and this child balanced 5 yams on his head in a tray. This child I was speaking of, the way I saw this child, she won't be more than 7, 8. 5 yams. As early as that 7, after 7, I was heading to my workplace. This child was carrying 7 yams by that morning. I am very sure the selling of those yams determine our feeding for that day. Now you give somebody like that 1,000 naira, she knows the value of it. Do you understand? So when people have tasted lack, they've seen want, they know suffering, they know dejection. Come on. There is. You don't want to have lack. You don't want to really have lack. So when they come on social media, they see things. They see how people are achieving. They say, wait, this is the same earth I belong to. They see the steps people are taking. They see how rugged people are going. So people go into rituals to earn a capital to start a business. Not everyone that went into ritual, they don't care. They say, oh, I will not marry. I would give up my hand. I will give up this. I will give up that. They go into those things to sacrifice themselves that, oh, I'm going to avoid these things. As far as my family will be out of this. I said something in one of my interviews that I believe that this generation have more warriors than the former generation, stronger people, because bad times make people strong. And if it pleases the Lord that the earth stays and men do not get into a kind of war and everything is okay, I can assure you that Africa in the next 20 years will be a better place. I can assure you, because now we have strong people trying to come out. Intellectual discussions are happening. Practical methods to making things better are going on. We have people speaking up and challenging the system that no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Questions are being asked now. So now they are coming online, they are saying that, oh, somebody can actually have this. My mates can actually do this. Oh, this is currently going on. They want to change location. They want to try things out. They want to go extreme. That no, I have to break out. I can't keep living like this. All right, and the assurance, right? The assurance of telling somebody, that, oh, don't worry, this is gonna work out. Just be good and godly, and you know. We have people who have been doing it good, playing it safe, let's do that one. And they can see that, oh, you're playing it safe has not given any results. Those of you who want a mentality change in the way you think, I recommend that you go see additional. See Apostle Femi. I recommend this to you. Watch their podcast, grow on some things. So it's beyond. All right? It's beyond. Now, going further, we have lack of assurance to a way out. Lack of assurance. Now, lack would fuel materialism. Lack of assurance would fuel materialism. I've seen homes where they don't have. Yes, because I know some people will be saying that, but there are homes where they don't have, and there are outstanding people coming out. They stayed on goodness. Nobody have excuse. And no, one thing you didn't notice about those homes that they didn't tell you, one thing they didn't tell you about those homes is that there was an assurance there. There was an assurance in those homes. All right? One thing you didn't notice is that there was assurance. Assurance in the sense that we had parents. We had parents who would come back, maybe because there is no lack, there is no food, there is nothing, and they can speak to the kids and say, don't worry, tomorrow the Lord will provide. Don't worry, this. And our Heavenly Father, as beautiful and wonderful as He is, would teach, would find the expression, will allow them to know that, okay, cool, these people have chosen goodness, and we will allow this to come. He says, do not worry about what to eat, don't worry about itself. That law can play out. Do you understand? It can play out there. But if there is no assurance, you can't just keep giving me Gary every day, and you don't tell me that, oh, the reason why we are taking this Gary is because of this. I see things. That system will work if the whole ecosystem takes that. But I go out, I see things. I'm in a school, I'm among children, I see what they do, I see how much they spend. What will keep me true? What will keep me consistent on what I'm doing? What will keep me drawn to what I'm doing? What will keep me on that plan, on that path, even when it is worrying me? Even to be a good Christian, you need the assurance of heaven, you need the assurance of the Holy Spirit, you need the comforter to consistently assure you and keep you going. Parents need to learn to assure their children. You need to just assure them. If you have a project, you are building the family house, you have a project, and maybe the school fees of the kids will take at least 700,000 off the money you have to complete the house, and in the next 3 months your house rent will expire, a house rent of about 1.5. Now you want to take this money, if 700k leaves 1.5, that's about 800k left, and that will not be enough to furnish the house to a way that they will stay. It's not wrong to withdraw them for the term, that do not go to school this term. I myself will practically teach you with experiential words. You tell them, oh, don't worry, this is what we want to achieve. You are a family, you are a team. Parents need to know that children are team members. They are team members. You don't just send them on errand and expect that they are the receiving end of every of your thoughts, every of your worries, every of your issues, that, accept it, I'm your father. No, you give them reasons, you tell them, you explain to them they are humans. They are humans. Come on. They are humans. You explain to them. Don't just say you're not going to school tomorrow. Why? I've said it's my final say. No. Explain to them. You explain to them that, this is what's going on. Don't worry, I'll teach you your maths, I'll teach you your English. School them for that period. Or maybe if they have to be withdrawn from some certain things, don't say, during my time, we used to cross, we didn't have TV. Come on, you suffer does not mean. Some people just think that suffering is, yeah, mentality. God. Some of us think that suffering, they think that suffering is the currency to be a good parent. That I suffer like this because it's the barest minimum is what you are giving. If you are feeding your child, who else should feed them? If they go to good school, who else? Where should they go to? Is he under under the bridge? Are they supposed to be sitting on pure water's back? Yeah? Are they supposed to sit on pure water's back? Are they supposed to go and come on? Some parents need to go and reorientate themselves because you've been injured from your own parents. Now you are coming, and if you even listen to what they say, you listen to 5 seconds of what they say, you feel, I've been a good parent, come on. I didn't even have anybody to come on. You will repeat the cycle. The cycle you are trying to stop, you repeat it. Assurance. Assurance. Some of you, when you have family meetings, is listen to me. That's your meeting. Hey, you don't know that a true leader listens to the masses, listens to the audience. You don't know a true leader listens to the audience, then sums up a law that will be easy for them to. You don't just, even when you want to change things, you don't change, you begin to change small, bit by bit. Listen to me. This is what I and your mother are saying. No, come on. They are part members of the family, not slaves of the family. You know, I used to say these things that Africans complain about slavery, but they practice it in their house. That trauma of slavery still stays in your mind. Come on. Come on. Assure. Oh, if they are used to being carried to school with their car, the day you send them to trek to school, you can lose that child for life if you just send them, come on, trek. I think you have been always carrying. Bro, if you've been carrying Ma and Sas, if you've been carrying and there is something you want to, don't just say trek. No. All right, don't just say trek. You explain that, oh, I'm sorry, I know you're not used to this. But you see, at this point, this is why you need to do it. Come down to their level, explain, understand. They've been doing this all their life. All of a sudden, there is no meat in their rice. All of a sudden, there is no meat in the stew, no fish in the stew. Tell them, oh, at this point, this is what we want to do. And let them practically be involved. That, oh, wow. You see them, children are beautiful. You see them save 10 naira that, let me take. I want you to build your house. Oh, I'll be saving this. I want you to buy this. You will enjoy when you are sure. I can't emphasize that enough. All right, another one is, you see this lack of assurance. Though the social media brings in some things that even people who are fine, who are good, they will agree to find more. That's by the way. And lack of assurance can now go further to breeding what I call fear of repeating a cycle. Yes, fear of repeating a cycle. So when there is no assurance, some teenagers are carrying a perception that my father suffered because they were not assured, they were not brought into an orientation of how things were. So they saw it that, hey, the man, he has money. After some point, boom, everything went. Hey, I don't want to be like this person in my life. Hey, you are their sad story to their good story. You are their hey, you are there. You know, there are many types of reinforcement. There is, I want to kill this thief, I will not steal again. And there's, wow, so this guy had always kept true. He has always been good. Wow, I'll stay good. You are the bad they needed to decide that, oh, my bad is bad. Yes, you understand what I mean. So, when they see these things, there's no reassurance. Then they repeat. They try not to repeat a cycle. So now, repeating a cycle without assurance is also that cycle. I'll explain. Now, look at this scenario. A lady, a young girl, grew up in a home where, or let's say a young boy, grew up in a home where he's flogged like he was the one that gave Judas the idea to betray Jesus. And I heard of a story of a man, one of the episodes that I watched, the podcast and all, that his dad would flog him ahead that, bring your hand, give him like 3 strokes, that if you go to school, remember these strokes. If you come back, just know that if I get bad report, I'm dealing with you. Like, why? Flog your child. Go, like, what's the motivation that, oh, I want to learn? They are waking up the morning that, they are ready and now, like, flog me for the day. This is, what is it? Now this boy will grow up, and let's say he has been able to bottle up these things. He now comes to a point that, oh, okay, this is bad. I want to be good. See, goodness needs to have a foundation of goodness. Many of us who are even calling ourselves good, we don't know good. And that's why even a Christian who is born again and is changed, that wants to practice good, needs the foundation of goodness, which is God in him, as that spring to fuel his goodness. Some of us who think we are good, we are not good because we only have circumstances to be good. So this person is brought to that plane, is brought to that, say, I don't want to be. There is no core of goodness. He's just like, I don't want to be bad like my dad, and I want to be a better person. Now, this person carries that orientation into the family and does not even flog the children when it is necessary. Quote me. Does not discipline, let's use that rather, when it is necessary, because it feels like, I know what that thing did to me. I don't want to do it to my child. That is one side of it. This child can see it and go haywire. The second one is he's actually doing it, but carefully. Now he sees his child, maybe hit one of his siblings, or try to reciprocate that trauma he experienced on another, and then the thing sparks a kind of reaction that, oh my God, this is playing out again. And then he dangerously deals with that child that, do not, how dare you? Do you know what I felt? Now, that energy of dealing with that child with that kind of traumatic core can either destroy a child, because the child may just be, in his own childish way, trying to stand up for himself. Now you have destroyed an orientation that, don't ever stand up for yourself. That's what was being pictured there. That was what was being shown. Don't ever stand up for yourself. What did I do? Your core, the center was not goodness, was trauma. Some of us adults need to sit back and actually get ready for parenting. You need to get ready for parenting. You would you would you will get ready for, you will endure things. I have this burden for young boys, and I hope to do that seminar very, very soon, where I pull in young boys and we talk some things, on the boys level. On the boys level, approach schools and on the boys level. Just let's chat. Let's, there are lots of things that young, they do girl child everywhere. I'm not against it, but we neglect the boys, unknowing to them that these women too will become under the subjection of boys who we do even reach out. We don't even check up on. So I just have that. We will get to that plane and God will help us. So yes, materialism, immorality. Materialism, we have social media, we have lack of assurance. Lack of assurance. You don't assure. You just leave. You don't even tell them things. And they're like, I can't be poor like this. But if they had been assured, they'll say, I have to watch out for these things that made my dad fall. Not, I can't be poor. They see you poor. They don't see you valuable. And now it's even playing in schools, because many of us that are in the educational sector, we get claims like school is scam. That's because they've seen you go to school, no assurance, then you come, and then even in this sector where they see that, people are actually even better, their mind cannot think that school is the way out. They begin to go into other vices, and that's why I said even betting, gambling, all those extracurricular things is to the fact that they begin to have some money now. This school is not the way out. The mind is trying to survive. The mind is trying to find out something. I'll wrap it up here now. I'll sum up my words. I just want to say that there are lots of causes. Okay, there are lots of causes to how we have teenagers. And in summary, I can say an assurance and neglect. The devil will always bring further. The system of this earth will always want to make things worse than they are. Please don't leave these young ones. Be present. Be present. Don't just feed them and be at home lying down. Talk to them. You should be their mentor, the first mentor before anyone outside. Speak to them about things. That how far you guys come, let me talk to you. What do you think a woman will do in a second? Paint scenarios, bring it to the picture. Scenarios you experienced. That when they come to second, teach them everything. Come on, teach them everything. Schools are limited to what they teach. Even the educational things they teach your children, they are not practice outside. Primary school is the core. It's not going to that level. Nobody goes to the street to buy pure water and says, oh, if X is equals to Y, how does the pure water become red? So, bring humans to this earth and let them be people who can make better people. Don't just bring them and make them, talk to them about everything, chat them about everything. And I know they work everything, I know. But please, amidst all this work, try your best to find, if it's a day off, that day off, you cover what you've lost. Cover. All right, we'll stop here today, and thank you so much for being with us. Please try to like, subscribe, and share this video so we can reach the audience we want it to reach. And we just want to expand a positive ideology and help teenagers out in times like this. So this podcast is Youthnity. Let's talk things, and it's strictly for the lives of teenagers. Furthermore, in our next episode, we'll be speaking about solutions now to the teenagers. Though these things are there, and we can't bank on the fact that these things will end soonest. What solutions do you take as a teenager? What then do you stand on? How then do you begin to drive? The way you want to survive, what is the right ways to survive it? Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.